I'm Martin Smith and this is your MaxiForex Week in Review. Today we'll cover some of the major financial events of the past week and discuss how they impact the global currency markets. The euro fell against the US dollar after Irish debt was reduced to junk by Moody's Investors Service. Moody's cut Ireland to BA1 from Baa3 on July 12th, making it the third country in the euro area after Greece and Portugal to be rated below investment grade. Yields surged in Italy, pulling the Eurozone's biggest debtor further into the region's financial crisis. The shared currency steadily fell each day and declined nearly 1% on the week. The euro-dollar pair was last trading at 141.54. The Swiss franc and Japanese yen were the top performers against the US dollar as investors sought a safe haven amid warnings from ratings companies about the US and Europe. This week, the dollar-yen pair declined heavily, down minus 1.80% and closing at 79.11. The Canadian dollar had a mixed week against its US counterpart, rising 1% to close at 0.9529. Earlier in the week, the CAD was viewed as a safer investment among traders due to economic uncertainty in the US and European economies. The CAD enjoyed a late boost on Friday as well. The British pound fell against the US dollar on Friday after the release of US data regarding industrial production. Despite some stable data from the services sector, growth is still quite soft in Britain. The rampant debt crisis in Europe continues to weigh on the pair as well. Overall, the pound-dollar trade pair had a mixed week, but was up 0.47% and last trading at 161.31. In commodities this week, August crude orders managed a second consecutive week in the green despite US and European debt concerns. Crude oil was up by a little over 1% this week and closed at $97.24 a barrel. Gold futures rose, exceeding the longest improvement since November 2009, on growing concern that debt woes in the US would increase, boosting the attractiveness of the yellow metal. Gold almost pulled off a solid week of consecutive gains, finishing the week up 3.2% and last trading at $1,593 per ounce. Economists say gold may even reach $1,600. Recent concerns have spurred investor appetite for gold as a hedge against inflation and a refuge against economic uncertainty, both in the US economies and in Europe. Well, probably the biggest story of the week and the one with the most economic impact was the S&P's 50% likelihood that the US will lose its top credit rating even if Congress agrees on raising the debt ceiling. A failure by the US to meet its financial obligations may prompt S&P to cut the nation's rating from SD, which stands for Selective Default. The US is set to lose the AAA credit rating it has held since 1941. Borrowing will continue to increase unless a $4 trillion economic consolidation plan is agreed on, S&P said. Well, that's all we have time for today. I hope you've enjoyed this week's review and I hope you'll join us next week. Until then, be sure to visit us at maxiforex.ru.